2 weeks ago, my mother rang my doorbell for the first time in nearly a decade. I am Iris Archer, 33 years old, and when I opened that door, she wasn't holding a birthday cake or a stuffed animal for kids she'd never met. She was holding a beat-up carry-on suitcase and a folded piece of notebook paper. The paper wasn't an apology. It wasn't a, "I miss you." It was a handwritten list, blue ink, bullet points so neat you'd think she was balancing a checkbook. Every bullet had a $sign, the total at the bottom, $925,000. She didn't ask about her grandkids. She didn't look at the photos on my wall. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "We need to talk about the family's future." But here is the kicker, y'all. Here is what Diane Archer didn't know. While she was compiling her invoice, I had been keeping a list of my own for 9 brutal years. Every birthday card she returned unopened, every voicemail she ghosted, every nasty text my sister sent about me behind my back. 29 items. Labeled, dated, and filed in a navy blue binder sitting in the bottom drawer of my desk. She came for a payout. I came with the receipts. If you are new here, smash that like button and subscribe to the Payback Vault because you are not going to believe how this woman tried to cash in on my pain. Let me rewind the tape to the summer I turned 24. The summer Milfield, Ohio decided I was persona non grata. Picture a town of 2,000 people, one Baptist church where everyone knew your sins before you committed them, and one diner that smelled like bacon grease and betrayal. My father, Kenneth, was a quiet ghost who worked the lumberyard for 31 years. My mother, Diane, ran the church women's committee like a mafia boss. She decided who brought the potato salad and who got shunned. My sister Paige was the golden child, homecoming queen, loudmouth, could do no wrong. I was the quiet math nerd who did the dishes without being asked. In the Archer family, love was a budget, and let me tell you, I was the line item that got cut first. When I got a full ride to Ohio State, Mom packed my suitcase with a card that said, "Come home soon." I kept that card for 15 years. It's still in my desk next to the binder. That was the last kind thing she ever wrote me. I met Marcus Ellison in advanced statistics. Yeah, I know. Sexy, right? A guy solving regression problems like he was reading a grocery list. He was an engineering major from Cleveland, biracial, with his mother's kind eyes and a jawline that could cut glass. His dad bounced when Marcus was 4, so his mom, Cora, raised him alone, working 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. Marcus had this way of listening that made you feel like you mattered. Our first date was a taco truck. He paid with crumpled singles, I paid with quarters. We split a horchata and talked until the truck closed. When I brought him home to Milfield, my mom smiled too wide and called him Michael 3 times. My dad shook his hand but stared at the floor. Paige was the only one honest enough to whisper, "Mom is never going to be okay with this. You know that, right?" I didn't know it. I thought love was supposed to win. I was 24 and stupid. When Marcus proposed on a random Tuesday at our kitchen table, no ring, just a conversation, I called my mom first. The line went dead silent for 7 seconds. I counted. She didn't say congratulations. She said, "You need to think about what this means for this family." 2 days later, a letter arrived on cream-colored stationery. My mother's cursive, neat as a scalpel. The last line said, "If you go through with this, you are choosing him over us. He is not one of us, Iris. He never will be. Not one of us. Because his skin was a different shade. Because his father was white. Because small-town Ohio has a long memory for bigotry." I folded that letter into a manila folder. I didn't know why I kept it. But the analyst in me, the part that files receipts, whispered, "Hold on to this. You'll need the proof later." We got married at the Multnomah County Courthouse, 12 guests, all Marcus's side. His mom, Cora, flew in with a Tupperware of pound cake and a silk flower she pinned to my dress. She said, "Welcome to the family, baby." My own mother didn't show. My father didn't walk me down the aisle because there was no aisle, just a hallway, with fluorescent lights and a judge who mispronounced our last name. My dress cost $160 from a consignment shop. Marcus wore a navy suit on clearance. That night, sitting on the edge of our bed holding grocery store roses, my hands shook. Not from joy, from grief. I had just gotten married, and the people who raised me didn't care enough to watch. 1 week later, I mailed a card to Milfield. Inside was our wedding photo, us on the courthouse steps grinning like idiots in love. I wrote, "We are happy. I hope you can be happy for us someday." 11 days later, it came back. Red stamp, return to sender. That was item $1 in the binder, the first receipt. I bought a navy blue 3-ring binder from Office Depot for $4.99. I labeled the tab Year 1. I didn't know I was building a, nuclear weapon. I just knew I wasn't going to forget. Year 1 was brutal. I called Mom 4 times, voicemail every time. I left careful messages, the kind where you choose every word because you know it might be the last thing she hears. "Hi, Mom. Marcus got a job. I'm studying for the CPA exam. I miss you." No callback. I sent a birthday card. Returned. Christmas. Card? Returned. My dad sent one text in February. 4 words. "Your mother needs time." That was it. 4 words in 365 days. Meanwhile, Paige posted a family photo on Facebook. Sunday dinner with her people. I wasn't in the photo. I printed that screenshot. Item number 8. The binder was getting thick. By year 2, Marcus quit his corporate job to build a prototype in our garage. Compliance software for small businesses. Boring as hell, but necessary. He set up 2 monitors, a space heater, and a whiteboard from Goodwill. I came home from my analyst job every night, microwaved leftover soup, and sat next to him reviewing financial models until midnight. We called it the grind. We didn't sleep, we didn't complain, we just built. That year, the binder grew by 4 more items. Another returned card, a voicemail transcript where Paige called me delusional, and a Christmas card that came back with the seal still sticky. Nobody in Milfield wanted to know us. Fine, we stopped asking. Year 3. The twins came, Liam and Sophie. 6 pounds each, identical dark curls, screaming like tiny fire alarms. Marcus cried. I had never seen him cry before. Cora flew in from Cleveland the next morning and stayed 2 weeks. She cooked, she cleaned, she rocked Liam at 3 a.m. while I fed Sophie. She brought a hand-crocheted blanket and silver bracelets engraved with their birthdays. That is what a grandmother looks like. I sent Diane the ultrasound photos. Returned. I sent birth announcements. Returned. I sent a photo of Liam sleeping on Marcus's chest. Returned with a red stamp so angry it looked like blood. Paige texted a mutual friend. Her children don't have real grandparents. That's what she chose. I printed that text. Item 16, red pen, dated. I want to be clear about something. I didn't keep that binder out of spite. I didn't sit in the dark stroking it like a villain in a movie. Most weeks I forgot it existed. It sat in the bottom drawer behind tax folders and old insurance docs. But every time a wound arrived in the mail, every returned card, every forwarded screenshot, I filed it. Why? Because someday, when my kids were old enough to ask why they didn't have grandparents on my side, I wanted them to have facts, not my version, not Diane's lies. The receipts. Marcus understood. He's an engineer. Engineers build logs. I was just building a case against the woman who erased me. Year 5. Compliance Corps, that's our company, had 15 employees. We moved out of the garage into a real office in Portland's Pearl District. We bought our first house, a craftsman bungalow with a plum tree the twins claimed as their fort. Liam started kindergarten. Sophie started kindergarten. They rode the same bus and argued about the window seat. Normal. Beautifully, painfully. Normal. Then I made the mistake of checking Facebook. Diane had posted a family photo from a Thanksgiving preview dinner. Paige and her husband, a baby in a high chair, my nephew, whom I'd never met. Caption, my whole world. I closed the app and went to bed. I didn't cry. I had stopped crying about Diane Archer somewhere around year 3. Some wounds don't heal. They just go numb. Year 7 changed the game. Compliance Corps landed a Series B funding round, $12 million from a VC firm in San Francisco. Post-money valuation, $12 million from a VC firm in San Francisco. Post-money valuation, $68 million. Marcus and I still held 22%. We weren't rich yet, but the numbers were pointing somewhere I'd only ever modeled in spreadsheets. I left my analyst job and became CFO. TechCrunch ran a 4-paragraph piece. 2 fintech newsletters mentioned it. Nothing major. But someone in Milfield, Ohio didn't scroll past. A friend texted me. Hey, your mom asked about your husband's company at church. She wanted to know what Series B meant. 9 years of silence, and suddenly Diane Archer was reading tech news. The math was changing, and my mother was paying attention. That same year, I sent what I knew would be my last birthday card. I had sent one every year for 7 years, 7 returns, 7 items in the binder. But this time, I tucked something extra inside. A photo of Liam and Sophie at their school. Fall festival. Matching flannels, face paint, Liam missing his 2 front teeth, Sophie grinning so wide her eyes were shut. On the back, I wrote, "They ask about you sometimes. I tell them you live far away." I sealed it, mailed it, expected the red stamp. It came back in 9 days. But something was different. The envelope had been opened, the flap creased, resealed, with clear tape. Someone had taken out the photo, looked at their faces, and put it back. My dad, I'm almost certain. He wanted to keep it. She made him send it back. Item Dr. 23, opened and resealed, still returned. Year 8. Compliance Corps hit 80 employees. Offices in Portland and Austin. Marcus made the cover of a regional business magazine, Small Potatoes, but his face was on a glossy cover with the headline, The Quiet Disruptor. I noticed strange activity on my LinkedIn. Someone from Milfield, Ohio viewing my profile 3 times a week. Private browser, burner account. Then Forbes ran its companies to watch list. We were number 47. 2 sentences. But it was Forbes. 3. Days later, my old friend Tess texted, "Your mom told Linda at church that she always knew Marcus was smart. First time she's mentioned your name in years. Always knew he was smart. 9 years of silence, and now she always knew." I wrote that on a Post-it and stuck it to the inside cover of the binder. Not a document, just a reminder that Diane Archer was recalculating. Then came the group chat. Tess called me on a Monday night, voice rattled. "Iris, Paige accidentally added me to a family group chat. I was in it for 3 days before they noticed. I took screenshots." She sent them. 7 screenshots. 3 days of unfiltered Archer. Family conversation. I read them in the parking lot of Liam's soccer practice. Paige wrote, "His company was valued at $68 million last round if they IPO. We relooking at $68 million last round. If the IPO, we relooking at $300 million minimum." Diane replied, "How do we approach this? She won't listen to me." Paige, "Make a list. Be specific about what we need. She's a numbers person. She'll respond to numbers." Then Diane, "She has more money than this entire town. She can afford to help her family. And then my dad. This doesn't feel right. He was the only one. Diane shut him down. I printed those screenshots. Item Tucker 26. Red pen. Dated. That's when I stopped seeing them as family. I saw them as a hostile takeover attempt. I called a family attorney the next morning. Not to sue. To understand. Could Diane make a legal claim to my assets? To my children? The lawyer, a no-nonsense woman named Grace, walked me through it in 20 minutes. No grandparent visitation rights in Oregon without an existing relationship. 9 years of documented estrangement made any claim laughable. Our trusts were airtight. I thanked her, hung up, and went to work. But that night, I drafted a letter. I didn't send it. I just wrote it out longhand at the kitchen table after midnight. It listed every item in the binder, every date, every returned card, every ignored voicemail, 26 items. I folded it and put it next to the binder. I was ready. Year 9, the IPO. Compliance Corps went public on a Wednesday in October. Marcus and I stood on the floor of the NASDAQ in New York, him in a charcoal suit, me in a navy blazer. The stock? Opened at 18 A-share by close, 18 A-share by close 22. Market cap, 440 million our stake, 10,440 million, our stake, 1044 million. I didn't know what to do with that number. It felt like a typo. Too many zeros. But I had checked the formula. That was literally my job. Bloomberg put Marcus's face in a sidebar. The local news did a 3-minute segment. Local couples. Fintech startup hits NASDAQ. That night in our hotel room overlooking Times Square, I checked my phone. 5 missed calls. Area code 740, Milfield, Ohio. My dad left a voicemail. His voice was thinner than I remembered, older, with a crack in it I'd never heard before. Baby girl, I saw you on the news. I'm proud of you. I've always been proud of you. Your mother wants to talk. She has things she wants to discuss. Please call her back. He hadn't called me baby girl since I was 14. I played it 3 times. Then I rewound and listened to the structure. He called after the IPO, not after the wedding, not after the twins were born, not after any of the 7 birthday cards, after the IPO. He was proud of me on paper. He always had been. What he'd never been was brave enough to pick up the phone when there were no millions attached. Diane's text arrived 2 days after we got home. 63 carefully composed words, no typos, no autocorrect errors. She wrote, I know we have lost time. I think about you and the children every day. Life is short. I would like to talk about the future. There are things that families should share. Not one word was sorry. Not one word was, I was wrong. She called it the differences that divide us, as if 9 years of silence was a philosophical disagreement instead of a woman who told her daughter, he is not one of us, and returned 7 years of birthday cards unopened. I printed the text. Item 29, 0 apology, red pen, dated. Tess called on a Friday. Paige is telling everyone she visited you in Portland. She's saying you live in a mansion and drive a Tesla. Half of that was wrong. It's not a mansion, and the kids go to public school. But Tess wasn't done. Your mom is planning a trip. She's packing a suitcase. I leaned against my kitchen counter, looked out the window at the plum tree. I know, I said. What are you going to do? Tess asked. I'm going to open the door, I said. I'm going to let her talk, and then I'm going to show her what I've been keeping in the bottom drawer for 9 years. She arrived on a Tuesday at 10:14 a.m. I know the exact time because I was drying a coffee mug at the kitchen window and watched the taxi pull up. Beige cardigan, black slacks. the same pearl studs she'd worn to church since I was a girl. She stood on the sidewalk for 30 seconds, staring at my house, the craftsman details, the porch swing, the garden beds Marcus planted. She wasn't looking for her daughter. She was appraising real estate. I opened the door. We stood 3 feet apart. She looked older, more gray, lines around her mouth that hadn't been there 9 years ago. Her eyes were already wet. "Iris," she said. "I came to talk about the children's future. Not, I miss you. Not, I was wrong. The children's future. The children she'd never met." I stepped aside. "Come in." I didn't lead her to the living room. I led her to the kitchen. The kitchen is where truth lives in my house. She sat at the table. I poured 2 glasses of water. No coffee, because coffee is for people who are staying. She looked around. Her eyes landed on the fridge, on the photo of Cora holding the twins at the beach. Grammy Cora, the only grandmother they'd ever known. Diane stared at that photo for 5 long seconds. Something crossed her face. Guilt or jealousy, I couldn't tell. Then she unfolded the paper. Blue ink. 5 bullet points. She read them aloud. "Retirement fund for your father and me, 500,000. College fund for Paige's son, 500. 0. College fund for Paige's son, 200,000. Medical expenses, 45,000. Mortgage payoff, 45,000. Mortgage payoff, 180,000. Monthly support, $3,000. She folded the paper, placed it on the table. "This is what families do, Iris. It's time to give back." I stared at that list. $925,000. Itemized. Presented like an invoice. Not once did she say please. Not once did she say I'm sorry. I picked up her list, read each line one more time, and set it down. Then I stood up, walked to my office, opened the bottom drawer. Under the tax folders, behind the old insurance documents, the navy blue binder, 3 inches thick, 29 items, 9 years. I carried it back to the kitchen and set it on the table right next to her list. 2 documents. Hers, 1 page, 5 bullets, 0 love. Mine, 29 items, 9 years, 0 apologies received. She looked at the binder. "What is that?" "You brought a list, Mom," I said. "I brought one. Too, so I opened the binder to tab 1, year 1. I started reading. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I read like a CFO presenting an audit. Factual, chronological. Item number 1, birthday card returned September 23, 2017. I pulled out the envelope, red stamp blazing, and laid it on the table. Item number 2, wedding photo returned. Item number 3, Christmas. Card returned. I laid them out one by one, white rectangles with red stamps, each one a door I had tried to open and she had slammed shut. Her mouth opened, then closed. I moved to tab 2, year 2, voicemail transcripts, unanswered call logs, a Facebook screenshot of my whole world that didn't include me. Diane pressed her fingers to her lips. Her eyes were wet. The theatrical tears were coming. I didn't stop. Then I got to the group chat. Item that were 26. I read Paige's words aloud. "Make a list. Be specific. She's a numbers person." Then Diane's words. "She has more money than this entire town. She can afford to help her family." Diane's face changed. The tears dried up. Something harder surfaced. Anger. "You had no right to read that." "You had no right to return my children's photos," I said. I reached for item number 23, the envelope with the clear tape. I held it up. This card had a photo of Liam and Sophie. Someone opened it. Someone looked at their faces. "And you made them send it back." Diane whispered, so quiet I almost missed it. I was afraid. For 1 second, I saw something real. Fear. Not performance. Then it was gone. Her chin lifted. But you left us, Iris. You made your choice. I placed her list on the left side of the table. I placed the binder on the right. Your list, $925,000, no apology. My list, 29 items, 9 years of silence. You didn't come here because you missed me, Mom. You came here because the numbers changed. Diane stood up. The chair scraped. The tile. After everything we did for you, the food, the clothes, the school supplies, this is how you repay us? You raised me, I said. That's not a debt. That's what parents do. She had no answer. I could see her searching through her mental Rolodex of guilt trips and finding nothing that fit. The garage door rumbled. Marcus walked in through the laundry room, keys in one hand, laptop bag over his shoulder. He saw Diane. He saw the binder. He saw me. He didn't say a word. He set his bag on the counter, walked to my chair, put his hand on my shoulder, and sat down next to me. That was it. No speech, no confrontation. Just a man sitting next to his wife because she needed him there. Diane looked at Marcus, the man she had refused to accept. He was wearing a flannel shirt and running shoes and a watch that cost less than her pearl studs. Nothing flashy, just a good man, a father, a husband. Right here, hand on my shoulder, saying everything without opening his mouth. Diane understood. I didn't need the Archer family. I had built my own. I spoke quietly, the way you deliver a final number on a balance sheet. Mom, I will not give you money, not because I can't afford it, because the moment I hand you a check, you will believe you were right to stay away, until it was profitable to come back. I picked up her list, held it out. If you want to know your grandchildren, that starts with an apology. Not to me, to them. And it does not start today. It starts when you are ready to mean it. Diane took the list, picked up her suitcase, walked to the front door. She stopped, turned around, opened her mouth, closed it, walked out. The door clicked, shut, not a slam, a click. The sound of someone leaving who knew she had lost something she could never buy back. 2 weeks passed. My dad called on a Tuesday morning. His voice cracked. I should have opened that door for you 9 years ago. I'm sorry, not because of the money. I want to know my grandchildren. I told him we start slow. Phone calls every 2 weeks. No visits yet. No money. Just talking. He agreed. Paige texted once. You could have just helped. I didn't reply. Diane went silent. The binder sits in the bottom drawer. 29 items. I haven't added a 30th. But here's the revenge you came for. Payback vault. The last I heard, the whispers in Milfield have turned. The church ladies are asking Diane why she doesn't have photos of her grandkids. The organist is telling everyone how Iris Archer made it big without her family. Diane walks into that Baptist church every Sunday, sits in her usual pew, and smiles. But everyone knows. They know she disowned her daughter for marrying a black man. They know she ignored her own grandchildren for 9 years, and they know she only came crawling back when the check got big enough. She didn't get a dime. She got a navy blue binder and a front row seat to her own humiliation. That's the payback. If your family only shows up when your net worth changes, drop a comment. Tell me your story. And if this video reminded you that your worth is not a dollar amount, smash that like button, subscribe to the Payback Vault, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. I'm Iris. This was my binder. And I'll see you in the next one.